Hey everyone, so here we are, the last lesson for Unit 1. We're talking about circles now. So again, we've kind of been over a whole bunch of different things. This entire first unit for you is all review. The last thing that we want to make sure that we understand are circles. Definitely something you've seen before. I think you do them both in geometry and algebra too. So let's kind of go through what it is again. A circle is nothing more than a set of points that are equidistant from the center of a point called HK. So what we have here, let's try, I'm gonna do my best to give us a good circle. All right, that wasn't terrible. But here's my point HK. This piece, as you remember, is called our radius. And this is a point that's on the circle, that's XY. So again, like I talked about last lesson with the distance formula, is one of the cool things about this class is that we can actually explain to you where things came from. So where does the equation of a circle come from? Well, it's gonna start very similar. There's a right triangle again. I want to think about a squared plus b squared equals c squared, okay? So if I use the distance for A being x minus h squared plus the distance for B being y minus k squared and C being my radius, there's my equation of a circle right there. Again, a couple of things that I know is that the center is going to be the point HK. Now, we have center radius form of a circle. There's two main types of equations. Center radius form is x squared plus y squared equals r squared. Now, if we have a center other than 0, 0, that's when I use that x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared formula, okay? But then we also have what's known as general form of a circle, and that's ax squared plus by squared plus cx plus dy plus e equals 0. A whole long formula there. We're going to go over that in a minute and how to convert between the two. So one thing that we should know already is how to graph these and just how to write the equation of them. Okay, so if I know that I've got a center of -1, 2 and a radius equaling 2, well, this is going to be h, this is going to be k. My equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. So I'm just going to rewrite this as x minus -1 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 2 squared. And then from here, you'll never see me leave it this way. I'm always going to simplify it, especially you don't want to see that minus negative thing. You're going to see x plus 1 squared plus y minus 2 squared is equal to 4, okay? Now from there, how do I graph this? Okay, well, I start on my coordinate plane, okay? I'm going to go to my center. My center is -1, positive 2. I should extend this a little bit. I have a radius of 2. So what that means is I'm going to go 2 to the left, 2 below, 2 to the right, and 2 above. And there's my circle, okay? So this right here is our standard graph. Now, what would I do if I wanted to go from center radius form to general form? Well, it's actually relatively simple. I'm going to expand this, x plus 1, y minus 2, y minus 2 equals 4. And then I'm just going to FOIL out. X squared plus 1x plus 1x plus 1 plus y squared minus 2y plus 4 is equal to 4. I'm going to put my x squared terms first, then my y squareds, my x terms, my y terms. 1 plus 4 is 5, equals 4. Now, what did we say? Is general form equal to some number? No, it's equal to 0. So since it's equal to 0, I want to make sure that I get there. Now, how would I do that? Well, I subtract 4 on both sides. And my final answer here would be x squared plus y squared plus 2x minus 4y plus 1 is equal to 0. Okay? So from there, that's known as our general form of a circle. Okay, so let's kind of go through these two different ones. This one right here, that's general form. Okay, and this one over here, this is our center radius form. So those are the two main forms of our circles that we have, okay? Moving forward, what if I want to go the other way? You know, being in general form doesn't really help me that much. And if that's the case, I've got these steps right here for you, where you group your x terms, you group your y terms, you leave some space. Let's just practice. It's gonna go better. Rather than just reading it to you, let's practice it, okay? So the first thing that I wanna do is I wanna rewrite this so that it says x squared minus 2x plus blank plus y squared plus 4y plus blank is equal to 4 plus blank plus blank. Now, where are those two blank spots coming from? One comes from my x's, one comes from my y's. Where did that 4 come from on the right side? I have to move the constant term, okay? So this is something that I should have read the problem to you. We're gonna find the center, the radius, and the x and y intercepts for us. Now, the x and y intercepts are gonna be new for us. But in order for us to find the center and the radius, I need to be in center radius form. So how do I do that? Well, I rearrange it like I have here. To fill in this first blank spot, I'm gonna take half of b and then square it. So that's -1 squared, which is 1. I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna take half of 4 and square it, which is 4. Okay. Now I want to make sure I'm factoring this. And when I factor this, there is a little hint for you guys and girls. What I'm going to do is x minus 1 squared. Now, how did I know that that's what it's going to factor to so quickly? The shortcut for you is look right here, guys and girls. The reason that I show that step, I know that all of you know that -2 divided by 2 is just -1. But the reason that I show that is because it's brainless for me now. That's always going to go in those parentheses there. Plus, I know that this is going to be y plus 2 squared. Again, how did I know that so quickly? Well, if I look here, I have that y plus 2, that plus 2. That's going to go here. Every single time. I promise that will work out. So that's why I show that step. Not because I think that you guys need to know that -2 divided by 2 is -1, or that I think you guys need to know that +4 divided by 2 is +2. It's because I know for me, I don't need to worry about factoring in my next step. The right side, 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9. So from here, I have all the information that I need, okay? My center of this circle is going to be 1, -2. How do I know that that's my center? I take the opposite of what's on the inside of those parentheses. my radius is going to be the square root of 9. My formula is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So in order for me to find r, I just take the square root. Those two things you should be able to do without me. Those two things in a college level honors class, you should be able to remember from last year. If not, I'm glad we had this little bit of a review. The next up with finding the x and y intercepts though, are just gonna be a little bit of new things for us, okay? So let's find the x-intercepts first. Now, keep in mind, what is an x-intercept? We're going to set y equal to 0. That's all we do. So let's see here, to find the x-intercepts, I'm gonna have x minus 1 squared plus 0 plus 2 squared is equal to 9. X minus 1 squared, I'm actually going to leave this as x minus 1 squared plus 2 squared is equal to 9. What that's going to do for me is x minus 1 squared plus 4 equals 9. Subtract 4 on both sides, guys and girls. X minus 1 squared is equal to 5. Now, this is something, again, you know, there's a reason that we review everything that we do. I should know what I'm doing here. I square root both sides. When I square root both sides, I'm going to get x minus 1 is equal to plus or minus radical 5. I add 1 to both sides. And I get that x is equal to 1 plus or minus radical 5. Now your the x-intercepts itself, we're just going to want to rewrite as 1 plus or minus radical 5, comma 0. Don't forget, since it's an intercept, we do want to put it as an ordered pair. But here is what my answer is, okay? So there's my first one. Well, what would I do to find the y-intercept? The same thing, just set x equal to 0. But let's do it together. Find the y-intercept, and in this one, we set x equal to 0. So it's the same steps, we're just setting the other thing equal to 0. 0 minus 1 squared plus y plus 2 squared is equal to 9. Negative 1 squared plus y plus 2 squared. Do not multiply. You are going to. I do not want you to. Don't do it. You make your life so much harder. Leave it as y plus 2 squared. Leave it as x minus 1 squared. I have 1 plus y plus 2 squared is equal to 9. Subtract 1 on both sides. I've got my y plus 2 squared is equal to 8. Now again, what did we want to do last time? Square root both sides. Y plus 2 equals plus or minus radical 8. Let's move this 2 over. And I get that y is equal to negative 2 plus or minus radical 8. I know that radical 8 simplifies. I'm not going to waste the time to do that right now. You can do that by yourselves. And therefore, what does that make my y-intercept? Well, that makes my y-intercept 0, comma negative 2 plus or minus radical 8. Okay? So just keep that in mind there. That step is new. Think about what it means to be an intercept. An intercept is just when x is equal to 0 if you're looking for a y-intercept, or when y is equal to 0 if you're looking for an x-intercept. Okay? Let's look at one more problem. Find the equation of the tangent line to the circle x squared plus y squared is equal to 25. Okay. In order for us to do that, what we're going to look to do is let's get, again, a picture of this really quickly. Now, here's my circle of, let's do this. Not the best, I'm sorry everyone, but there's my x squared plus y squared equals 25. And what is a tangent line again? Well, a tangent line is something that comes and it hits the circle in one spot, and I want to know at the point 4, 3, what is my equation of that tangent line? Okay, so what are we looking for? We're looking for the equation of the line. If you remember about tangent lines, is that they are perpendicular to radii. So what could I do here? Well, what I'm going to look to do is I'm going to look to find the slope from the center to the point. Okay, so the center of this circle is 0, 0, and the point is 4, 3. So what I'm going to do is 3 minus 0 over 4 minus 0, or 3/4. I'm going to use the perpendicular. So if my slope was 3/4, that makes my perpendicular slope equal to 4/3. Okay? And then from there, write the equation. Using the perpendicular slope and the given point. Okay, so what do we have here? We're going to have y, we're using the point 4, 3, don't forget. Y minus 3 is equal to 4/3, negative 4/3, excuse me. Yep, negative 4/3. Times x minus 4. And I'm just going to leave it like that. I don't really want to do anything else. I could simplify, but with that fraction, I don't really want to simplify. So that's almost everything I have for you. I just want to, touch upon one more thing that's going to help us this year. And to do that, I am sorry, everyone. I'm going to copy down this circle again. I'm going to come back and I'm going to use this equation that we had before. Okay, so it's kind of like an extension to problem 2 that we did. All right, there's one more thing that we're sometimes asked to solve for. Okay, and what that is sometimes you're going to be asked to put the circle into y equals, I will say form. Now, if the question ever asks you to put the circle into y equals form, okay, what that means is we're going to have our circle, which was x minus 1 squared plus y plus 2 squared is equal to 9. And we're going to look to solve for y, okay? So what we're doing is we're going to solve for y, okay? In order for us to do that, okay? In order for us to solve for y, ready? Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna first subtract x minus 1 squared on both sides. I'm not multiplying out. I'm literally just going to subtract that entire quantity. And what I'm left with is y plus 2 squared is equal to 9 minus x minus 1 squared. The next thing that I want to do is I want to make sure I'm getting rid of that squared symbol. How do you get rid of a squared symbol? You square root both sides. That leaves me with y plus 2 equals. Keep in mind what we've been talking about the entire unit. If you square root something, you are left with plus or minus. Do not simplify this. It can't be simplified. So we're just going to leave this as 9 minus x minus 1 squared. And your final step, in order to put the circle into y equals form, is to very simply just move this 2, okay? When we move this 2, it turns into negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 9 minus x minus 1 squared, all under the radical. Do not simplify the radical. This is it. You are done. That is it for Unit 1. And if you have any questions, make sure, like I said, like I've said in every video, just make sure you're asking us, okay? So your final answer is just this right here. Hopefully these videos have been good as a little additional resource, but remember, there is no greater way to learn this rather than being in class and asking questions from your teacher. Regardless, I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope you enjoyed Unit 1, which is a big review. Okay, have a great day, everyone.